Hey everybody, this is Bonnie Alexander. I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator who loves to paper craft, and I am going to have an online workshop today. Oops, look at this. I've got a little heart, a little wayward resin heart on my finger, typical of a crafter. Anyway, these 4 cards are the cards that I'm going to show you how to make, and they are simple and they are beautiful, and I hope you get to learn a little bit more about what a paper crafter, card maker, Stampin' Upper does. So these cards, which I'm going to keep out behind everything so you can have something to look at, were made with one stamp set, the Happy Thoughts, and we're going to use every one of these stamps. It's made with, each card is made with 2 different card stacks. We're getting 2 cards, so we got 4 cards out of those. It's made with one type of designer series paper, which is marvelous paper, as you will come to see. It is made with 1 ink pad, 1 punch, 1 ribbon, and 1 woman. So here we go. Let's get started. Now you can see a little bit of what I'm trying to achieve is that this is something that you can do without investing. You don't have to have it all, although some people think that they do. So anyhow, because it's very addictive, this is a very addictive, fun, creative outlet, and very, very much like therapy. So let's start with some very basics, because this is really meant for you to see how it's done. And here we go. This is my Moonlight Madness paper. And to make a card base, I'm going to cut this paper at 5 1/2, and then I'm going to score it at 4 1/4. Now, if you're wondering what I'm using, this is a personal trimmer, it's Stampin' Up! Personal trimmer, and you can use one piece of equipment for both things. Now you can cut it and just fold it in half if you don't have a scorer, but I like to score because it makes my life easier and I feel more precise. So we've got our 2 card bases, and then this one we're going to cut a little differently just so you can see what some options are. We are going to cut it at 4 1/4, and we're going to score it at 5 1/2. So we're cutting each paper. Oops, don't want to use the cutter, you want to use the scorer. We're cutting each of these paper in half, going 2 different ways. Or, as I said, you can go ahead and fold it. So there's our folded piece of paper, and I'm going to get my trusty bone folder out in order to, it's called a bone folder because it's made with bone, and cut those in half. So we've got our 4 card bases. The next thing we're going to do is we are going to take this piece of paper that I have cut at 3 by 8 1/2, and we are going to stamp. Now this stamp set has 4 different sentiments, and they are thinking of you, thank you, happy birthday, and congratulations. And we're going to use every one of them, and we're going to use our 1 stamp ink pad, and we're going to which is Memento Black, and we're going to ink them up, make sure that they're covered. Going to go straight down. This is congratulations. Hoping you can see what I'm doing. We're going to take our 1 punch, and I start at the bottom when I'm punching out like this. You're going to see why, and doing it in a strip is easier. So I'm going to take my congratulations, and I'm going to cut it out. Have that one ready. So then I am going to take my scissors, which are not with me. So we're going to turn it over this way. And you can see why I need to cut, because otherwise my punch is not going to go in. And I'm going to ink up my happy birthday, make sure it's covered. Now, if by chance, and this has happened to me before, you Oh, my punch. I'm really good at losing things right under my nose. You stamp this crooked, you can always straighten it out with a punch, which I think is so nice. Because, as I always say, made with love, not perfection. So I'm going to grab my scissors. And these are my paper snips, which are the handiest scissors, and sharp, handy, that can be used for everything. Well, now, I'm doing this as a video. I don't really do Facebook Lives for so many reasons. But although I don't do a Facebook Live, I treat it as a Facebook Live. In other words, I'm not going to edit out the fact that I had to reach over there and get my scissors, because this is real life. Now I'm inking up the Thinking of You. And again, this is the one that I have the worst time. I love the font, but sometimes it comes out crooked, so we'll see. But no worries. Oh, did pretty well on that. You never know. I've made all sorts of mistakes, and hopefully some of them I've made will save you from making them. So now we've got our Thinking of You, and the next and last one is Thank You. Okay, so you can see the stamp set is really hitting all the top reasons for you to send a card. And believe you me, I've experienced it in the fact that when you send a handmade card and you write out someone's name, that's the first, when they get to the mailbox, it's the first envelope they ordered. So we've got put our ink away for the moment, and we've got our sentiments. So the next thing to do, and I am going to do it, is clean my stamps. You do want to clean your stamps. You don't want to leave them dirty. And what I'm using, you're thinking dirty, talk about dirty. This is a Stampin' Chamois, and when you wet it, it cleans your stamps. So we do want to take care of our stamps like everything else. And it doesn't really, it looks like, wow, Bonnie, why don't you clean that? It does stain. However, it doesn't mean that it doesn't clean. And so I've got all this done. And this is just $8. It's really a deal. I guess I turned off my other phone, but I didn't turn off the house phone. I'm one of the few people that still has a house phone. And I get a lot of spam calls. Lucky me. All right, I'm going to get these things out of the way. And you can see I've used a clear block in order to put our cling stamps on. So we're going to put that to the side, and now we're going to get going on putting our cards together. Oh goodness, oh, these are the cards. I'm like, where's my stuff? But these are the card bases I just showed you how to do. Here are my card kits. So what I'm going to do, those are the insides. I'm going to put those to the side, and what I have in here is the pieces to make my cards. I've tried to make this very simple. So what I'm going to do is take adhesive, the Stampin Seal. So what you need beside all these card things is adhesive. And you do need several types of adhesive, which I'll never forget when I started. I had no clue, number one, that there were that many kinds and that you needed them. You needed them. So we're going to take this 3x4 piece of Designer Series paper, and we're going to attach it on the bottom. This is a 4 1/4 by 3 1/4 piece of Daffodil Delight, and you can see these have pretty patterns on either side. With this pack, it's florals on one side and graphics on the other. So I'm going to take the non-floral side of this. You know what? I made a mistake. So guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to do this because I need to attach my ribbon. And so if you do the same thing I did, then you can just peel it back. But I want to show you a fun trick with my ribbon that I've cut and got all ready and left over on the other side of my desk. You know, you may be trying to figure out how to do this, and I am trying to figure out how to do these kind of videos. So here's a little trick even some of my avid stampers may not know about, and that is to take what we call, it's a multi-liquid glue, Tombow glue, and we're going to make a knot, square knot, and tie it around the glue bottle. Okay, so I've just tied this around the glue bottle. Got to hold it down with my fingers to make sure it makes a nice knot. And then I'm going to tie it. I'm going to turn it over, and I'm going to take my ribbon scissors. That's why it has this, so they stay nice and sharp. And you know, people talk about their quilting, their fabric scissors. And I am going to cut it, and now I've got a fake faux. So what I'm going to do is just go ahead and reattach that. Now, this needs a little bit more since I've taken it up. So let's make sure we've got it down. And then we're going to scoot it over, and we are going to trim our bow, again with our ribbon scissors. I'm trying to make sure you can see all this. So now I'm going to take this, just going to move it if we can just a titch over, and I'm going to go ahead and adhere it with our Stampin Seal. This makes taping really easy. I know a lot of people use Scotch tape and stuff, and to me, double-sided tape, oh, as I'm talking too much, I'm not getting my tape runner to go. I'm talking about how easy it is. Let's get it going, see? And if you just keep going over where you were. So this makes a tape runner makes it very simple. And I'm going to attach that here. And then I am going to take one of my sentiments, which are, and it doesn't matter. I don't even know if I'm doing this the same way I did it with these samples. And I'm going to take some what we call Stampin Dimensionals, which are marvelous. I'm talking to you about different adhesives. So far I've used a snail runner. I've used my Tombow glue as a bow maker. And now I am using Stampin Dimensionals. And I'm going to put my happy birthday there. And we're done with the outside of card 1. Let's go on to card 2. I don't want to bore you. I don't want this to be so long you're thinking, oh, I don't want to watch this anymore. But I really want to see the 4 cards. So this one doesn't go here. This one, I want to show you the finished one. Helps me too to see the finished one. So we are again going to take my Stampin Seal, and I'm going to run it down. If it doesn't grab right away, I always go over where it was before, and this is really good adhesive, as you can see. And I'm going to go ahead and attach this. This is 3 by 4, and this Rich Razzleberry is 3 1/4 by 4 1/4. You're going to hear a lot of the same measurements. Actually, that's not true. This is 5 by 3 3/4, and this is 3 1/2 by 4 3/4. Sometimes, oh, I just dropped my whole basket of the staples that I use, the adhesives and glue dots and scissors, on the floor. So now you're getting a really good example of the fact that this is not going to be edited. It is going to be, oh, I did it again. That's because I just dumped it. All right, we're going to pull it off right away. Even though it's very sticky, I can pull it off, and we are going to take some of this gold ribbon and put it on our designer paper. Don't do it like I do it. Do it differently. You've got to remember ahead of time. But then I'm getting to think that maybe you won't be doing a video. And let me tell you, I'm laughing at myself because I see all these great videos out there, and they just aren't me. This is the real crafting. And for me, it really is therapy. I used to call it my crafting hobby, but actually it is my creative therapy. And now it's a business. And I'm going to take, let's get this straight, okay? I do have standards, believe it or not. And I want to get this right. So don't do it like I'm doing it. Do it the right way. And I'll show you that hopefully the next time. I have a tendency to get ahead of myself, especially when I'm nervous, and I can't tell you that I'm not nervous doing this. All right, so I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take 2 dimensionals, putting them on the end. Dimensionals pop it up. They call them dimensionals because it gives our card dimension, and dimension is always good. And I'm going to put our congratulations. Okay, card number 2 is done. Oops. Card number 3. My hands are sticky. Is this one. And I have no idea how much time this is taking me, but it is going to be interesting to me how quickly we can get these cards done. Now, again, I did some of the cutting ahead of time, but it really, really didn't take me long. So this piece of paper is 2 by 5.5, but I cut it at 2.5 so that I could use the opposite side of that paper as a border. You can use ribbon, you can use whatever strikes your fancy. Now, I'm not going to go off camera to get my silicone sheet, but that is like one of my all-time favorite things, and I'm not making it easy on myself right now with doing it in here. I don't want to get adhesive on my grid paper because then it will be bad for my... Guess what I just did? I put the adhesive on the wrong side. So this is the side it should be on. And we're just gonna do that. Oh, Bonnie. I'm gonna use this as my... All right. I'm making more mistakes than I should. But I'm still gonna put this out there, and I'm gonna tell you why, because everybody's gotta start somewhere. This is my first online workshop. I usually do 1 card at a time. I try to keep it very short and sweet. Some of them have a little more to them because they're for stampers that have been at it for a while, but we're going to go ahead and put this on and keep going. Have I said this already? One of my favorite sayings is made with love, not perfection. So this gives that a little trim. Now, if you don't think my hands were sticky before, they most certainly are sticky now. And I'm missing one of my parts. I'm missing my banner. So let me look for a minute. Of course, all you can see the clean part of my room. And we're going to cut another one. So this is cut at 2.5 by 4. And then it's cut to be made in a banner. You can see how handy it is to have this personal trimmer. And I tell you what, this is definitely one of the best. So my handy dandy snips are here. And I'm gonna go ahead and cut it. And you can see there's a score, but I wasn't gonna leave the camera to pick out something else. It's here somewhere. I'm gonna cut it in the middle, and I'm going to then banner this. I hope you enjoy laughing at me because I enjoy laughing at me, and I know that this is real life. Okay, well, that's the one I made. Where is my card base? It's over here. All right. Oh, for something so simple, I'm making it too difficult. So we're going to attach our banner, and since I have plenty of adhesive on that already, I'm going to grab my sentiment using my dimensionals again, one on each side. Now you can use as many as you want. I have friends that cover it, and I have friends that would use half as much. So my hands are just too darn sticky. There we go. All right, and I'm going to take a piece of our gold ribbon, and I'm going to tie it in a bow. Luckily, I didn't have to mess with that till the end, and I'm totally out of this gold ribbon. However, I have some on my desk, so the next card I'm definitely going to have to get up from the desk. We're having some fun now, aren't we? Now, one of the reasons I'm doing this is because if you would like to purchase, my ribbon scissors fell down here. If you have a purchase of $30 or more, I am going to send you everything done to make these 4 cards. This is the end, so it has definitely frayed. I'm going to see if I can work on that a little bit because, as I said, I do have standards. So we're going to take what is known as a glue dot, which ended up on the floor also, I think. Okay. This is also a testimony of how not to do an online workshop. But like I said, I'm going to do it anyway because I need to get that first one under my belt, and I hope to get better. So we're going to put our little tiny bow there, and that's our 3rd card. Okay, 4th card is, we're going to take a 4 1/4 by 3 1/4 by 4 1/4 piece of white paper, and we are going to go ahead and attach the designer paper. And I'm hoping you can see some, when I turn this over to put my adhesives on, that you can see some of the back sides of this paper, which are beautiful. The colors, I just love the colors of this designer paper. Now, I have got to pull that out so that I know and I don't make the same mistake. So this one has a little bow too, but the difference with this one is we're going to open it this way. So I'm going to take my 4 1/4 by 11 poppy, and I am going to adhere this to the front. Now you've seen, I'm sure, on Pinterest and just on Facebook, some really gorgeous, gorgeous cards that take a whole bunch of time, but certainly are very fun to make. But this is not the purpose of this. This purpose is to show you that you can make 4 cards very quickly, limited supplies, and you can get the card kits for free from me with a purchase. You can purchase the things that I've used, or you can purchase anything your heart desires. And, oh, there's a bow hanging around. There is a bow hanging around on my desk that goes right there. You've already seen how I've done that. All right, so these are our 4 cards that we just made, and I hope you like them. And I will be putting in the description what products we were using, and I will be putting a link in for you to order these from my website, and it will have a host code on it and everything else. But before I let you go, let's stamp our insides. So what I did is I have 4 pieces of paper, 4 by 5 1/4, and again, I'm going to get out my Memento ink. For some reason, this always curls. And I am going to go ahead and stamp. And when you have a stamp that's bigger than your ink pad, I always turn it over like this. And I line it up. I love this grid paper. I need all the help I can get to get things straight. And this says, today is great because it's all about you, the great person you are, the great things that you do. And I'm actually going to stamp that one twice. Like I said, we had we have 3 insides. Let's turn that over. That's the thing. The reason you want to stamp before, I always say stamp first. If you make a mistake, there's 2 sides to paper. And if you make another mistake, another one of my sayings is it's just paper. So we don't get too wound up about it, and we don't act like it's the end of the world if we make a mistake. Because as you can see, I've made fun. All right, so we are now going to, I'm going to clean this after because I want you to, I'm going to line it up. I'm going to turn it over and ink it up. And I'm going to line my paper up straight. I don't want any depth perception awards. And this is the little things you do so often make a big difference to so many people. That's going to go in the middle of my thank you card. And I'm going to take my stamp off, use this block, and this one is also very versatile, it says, just wanted to send some happy thoughts your way. This one you could probably do either way. Line it up again. And when you take your stamp block, you go straight down, give it some pressure, and I really have to work hard at giving it some pressure, and straight up, because I'm not as strong as so many of the girls that stamp with me. So let's get our cards back out. And congratulations. Today is great because it's all about you. We're going to go ahead and insert that in the inside. Now, if you get the kits from me, I also include an envelope. And we're going to insert that. I have adhesive everywhere on my nail. And this one we're going to put on the thank you card. Uh-oh. Where's my thank you? Did I not use my thank you? Oh, I used happy birthday twice. Where's my thank you? Oh, well. Let's get the thank you card out. That's the... Okay. Well, everybody... And I also... Okay, I'm sorry. You know, one of the things about me is I have no problem laughing at myself. My mother taught me to laugh at myself. And I learned the lesson very well. Now you can see I've got some really messy cards, and that's because I'm doing it too fast and not cleaning my hands. So take your time when you do these. All right, and the happy birthday, we're gonna put this, but look at this. I stamped it this way and it has to go this way. So I'm gonna turn it over and I am going to find it. It's not that one. Let's see if it's this one. Yep. And so I will take another stamp set off a block, turn it over. Luckily I'm using the same color because otherwise the fact that I didn't clean the ink off of it could be an issue. But we're using all of our black. And we're going to do it this way. Again, lining it up straight. All right. And now we're going to insert that in this one. Oh, goodness. I have a feeling someday I'm going to look back at this because I will add it to my YouTube channel. And I am going to have a good old laugh again at my expense. And hopefully feel like, look how far I've come. So we've got the inside of that one. And, oh, just one more. And it's this thinking of you. Thinking of you and just wanting to send some happy thoughts your way. Make sure you clean your hands of the black ink if you happen to get it on. Because that, unfortunately, I've got some ink on here. And we're going to go ahead and insert that. Okay, now we've got our 4 cards done. 2 with the poppy base, 2 with our Moonlight Madness. I'm going to cover this black ink up so I don't get any more in it. All right, so I hope you've enjoyed this. And again, I will be putting information in the description. And thank you if you've hung with me this far. Thank you, thank you, thank you. I sure appreciate it. Take care. Till the next time. Happy stamping.